Regeneration.
I'll take that.
Gold and sweet.
Money changes hands.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Dominating! Axes pleased!
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This will do just fine.
Mega kill! Axes pleased!
Dire are scanning.
Axes pleased! Double kill!
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Blink of sick! Double kill! Killing spree!
Dire structures are fortified. Radiant are scanning.
Invisibility out. Makes them right.
This'll come in handy. carefully now. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Triple kill!
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Killing spree!
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's ancient is under attack. Dire's ancient is under attack. tower has fallen.
Oh.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle barracks are under attack. Dire's middle barracks has fallen. Dire's middle barracks has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's ancient is under attack. Dire's ancient is under attack. The battle begins. Radiant structures are fortified.
Straight to the bottom with you.
middle tower is under attack.
I think not. Just to be clear, if I call you mate, I don't mean it literally.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And here come the shots.
The red mist closes in.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire are scanning. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I am legend. Eight knots and full ahead.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Man overboard!
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. So broken. Radiant are scanning. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Scanning. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Normally.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Should I
Invisibility.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So it's a hero that it recovers really well from behind by jungling and enabling the rest of her team, because you just say, hey, I'm giving you guys 40 damage, carry me. Or she can be the hero that with an early lead turns it into towers. And that is something that in this meta fits everything that a carry needs to be. And without revealing your strategy, it's
Just to be clear, if I call you mate, I don't mean it literally.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Normally.
Radiant are scanning.
X marks the spot.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's top tower. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Welcome back.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Regeneration.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
You're a trusty mate.
That's a bit of all.
It's really hard to deal with. And then you also have to factor in, we have to be able to D-push.
Is VP banned out those two heroes?
Where they're going to be.
Even Cursed Crown too, you can't be too close to your tether target as well. Just all around a very strong hero. Honestly, Optic can just do whatever they want right now. Like, they're not locked in at all. And neither is VP, I guess. Can throw it in even if they want to.
They're taking
So
the
they
clinks.
to go for the Clings. I love Clings against both these heroes. I think you should go Desolator against those two. And once you have that, you literally just kill either of them in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, so annoying playing IO versus any of these, the Weavers, Clinks, these heroes that can just get into the back very easily versus you. But Gyro, I'd say like, I'm sometimes a little mixed on it, because the missile, you can't actually dodge it, so it can be really annoying, although Clinks can kill it by himself very easily.
Yeah.
It's funny how it's only the top 3 in the DPC that have favoured that combo so far here at TR. We've seen LGD plant, we've seen Liquid plant.
I mean, IO Gyro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something I feel also was learned and picked up by some of the teams. I think it was LGD who did it first, or
Yeah,
one of the Chinese teams, and I think after people saw, oh wait, this is still good, other teams like, well, let's start playing it, because, you know, everyone's played a bazillion Gyro games.
Yeah.
Every team at this point has an IO player, so I don't necessarily think it was something they had planned coming in.
Yeah.
I really like the way LGD played against it, though. They put 3 heroes against it, and it completely pressured it out of the lane. They had like no chance at all.
Yeah, I think you could see in that series that they not only played it, but played against it, and they were quite happy either way.
What do you guys think as far as dealing with Clinks? Like, they banned the Ursa, who's one of probably the better heroes. You can just put in Rage on and fight the Clinks, try and bash him. What else is good against him?
Well, honestly, anything that just gets in his face and he can't burst down during strafe. So there would be like...
There's a little flexibility in that Clinks pick as well, because they can play it in the off lane.
Yeah, or mid, or safe lane.
Yep.
So
And they played it. Actually, I think they played it. They played it once in safe lane and once in the off lane.
What hero is super good against Clinks?
Alchemist, but there was
illusion heroes like a
PL,
Phantom
right?
Lancer.
Yeah,
PL.
PL's one of the best counters, I always thought.
Just illusions and summons are really good against Clinks.
Oh, Oracle. This is also very good versus Clinks and Necro. You can purge off the strafe. You can also purge off the Necro Ghost Shroud.
Yeah. Or you just put the Fate's Edict on him and he can't hit anymore.
Well, you Fate's Edict, you can block the Reaper Scythe damage too. It's a save. So there's so many good things about Oracle this game. But the hero is not that popular because it feels a bit lackluster in like the early game laning stage.
It does feel very good this game though, just off of all those things that we mentioned.
And Solo
But do you
is
know
one
what?
of the heroes.
The alarm bells go off, don't they, when you see a third pick Oracle? The Huskar alarm bells go off. Not so crazy these days, because it has been picked an awful lot in this tournament.
Oh.
18.
One of the best responses against Oracle, if you ever get a stomp on him, you literally can just take out the target you want to take out without having to worry about his ult.
And this is a... Yeah, you have to watch out for that Oracle still, but yeah, like you mentioned, you might be in range of that AoE from the stomp in some occasions, and this other Titan with Necro, actually, the synergy is incredibly good because you amplify that damage with your Spirit for the Necro spells.
Picked only 6 times in the group stages.
Ooh, ET's win rate. That makes me sad.
What's that?
0.7% win rate.
One game only, huh?
One out of 6 in the groups,
Well, and then of course DK, one of them against the Elder Titan. You get the plus armor that he doesn't reduce.
I think this is like we said before, though, Gods. We don't put too much stock on win rates for supports.
Yeah.
Not too much.
It's
Because they aren't really responsible for
fairly
winning or
small
losing the
group.
game in entirety.
So DK is one of the other heroes we'd all like kind of theory crafted backstage versus the Clinks. Sure, if you go Dragon form, you can dodge the stun with the Clink strafe, but if you're actually in melee form and you blink forward and stun, it actually connects versus that Clink. So could be really important for them to get the lockdown onto that hero.
Has damage reduction. It's just very tanky against Clinks. It's kind of like, it's not going to counter the Clinks as far as pressuring him immensely, but it just stays alive, which is, if you're staying alive during the Clink strafe, you're in a good spot.
It's not going to be easy though. If Clinks does go for Deso and ET is next to him, he will only have like 5 armor anyway, and he will die.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I love
You're doing a strafe.
I'm really glad Optic actually took that out. I think the Bat Rider would have been such a problem for them.
A Bat Rider last pick would have completely messed the lineup up.
Yeah.
Do you guys think it's likely no one playing the DK, or is there any chance we see that like in the offlane role?
I think they're very flexible with it, but...
Yeah, Pasha speed. Pasha played it during the group stage.
Like, I always feel like offlane DK, if you can't get anything done, you're kind of just a burden to your team.
I agree with that.
But that's how they play it, though, isn't it? Because they have played that kind of like, we're going to stick it in the offlane, we don't really care about it. Pasha, do as well as you can. Save yourself till later, we'll be fine.
I remember
Enchantress is still in the pool.
Oh, my God. It is as well. We didn't talk about it because this is what happens, isn't it? Every single tournament we do, right?
You look at all the bans.
You see the big ban, it gets banned a lot, it gets banned a lot, it gets banned a lot. Then it stops getting banned, and then someone remembers it.
For last pick.
And
it purges Ghost Shroud and Strafe as well.
And Strafe too, yeah.
What a pick from Virtus Pro now.
And the pressures the Clinks so much. And we just said summons and illusions are really good. He's just going to get 1 creep, and the Clinks is going to have a very, very hard laning phase.
Kind of forces Optic maybe to pick a different core than they hoped to, just to get better lane matchups, or at least to swap their lanes around.
They have a lot of sustain on the side of VP now with that pick too. They have the IO, the Oracle, the Enchantress if they are going for pushes, the Tether with the Nature's Attendants.
And still massive late game.
Yeah.
And PTB damage as well.
Can't believe we made it that far in the draft.
It's like one of those heroes we're just assuming it's banned for 6, because that's always been the case up till now.
I completely forgot. Because Optic also used to ban it like every game. I think they banned it like 12 times or something. And suddenly they didn't.
They're low on time here.
But make a decision fast. It's very hard now. The last pick has to cover a lot of weaknesses, and I don't know if they can do it actually.
It's like PL, but...
They probably have to play behind and draft.
Not too sure. They take
the other side of the draft.
Oh, they've done this before. When they know CC and C can get a really good mid matchup, they'll pick him Huskar.
Okay. Draft is complete. And we have our first game ready to rock and roll between Optic and Virtus Pro, which means we need some 60 seconds of sexy, sensational stats, which is good news because we have the hands with us to do just that.
Thank you
very much, Red. The panel was talking a lot about the performance of the big two core players for Virtus Pro, Ramses and No One. If you look, there are 150 players with 150 or more Pro Dota 2 LAN matches all time. They have the #1 and #2 KDA out of all of those players. 6.6. There's only one other player on that list, TNC Raven, above 6.0. They need to perform in this match, and they've got the Ramses gyrocopter to do it. Out of 1,000 player hero combinations with 40 or more games all time, his 10.6 kills per match on that hero ranks in the top 5. But do not count Optic out in this match. Early tower pressure is so important. Before the 10-minute mark, Virtus Pro have lost 15 towers in this tournament. That's the most of any team. Nobody else more of 11. Optic have only surrendered 3. That's the fewest. Will the green wall stand up to the assault from the #1 team in the DPC? To tell you all about it, put your hands together for Toby1 and Synderen.
That is one of the greatest questions. Can Optic hold the wall? And I don't know if it's going to be possible. That draft looks really good from Virtus Pro, but Optic, Huskar, 5th pickup, the panel was asking, does it fulfill the weaknesses that were in their draft?
I think both teams have their advantages going into this game. I wouldn't say it's that clear-cut. For me, when I look at these drafts, I really am just curious to see how the lanes get placed, because it's very clear for me that, okay, Optic, they take their time on the last pick. They're like, okay, this is probably going to be a Dragon Knight mid. They try to counter it with Huskar. But this lane matchup is actually not that bad for Enchantress. So I would imagine we could see Virtus Pro try to pull a little bit of a switch here and actually swap out their lanes, because Dragon Knight cannot play this lane. I feel like No One is going to struggle really hard against the Huskar, but as it looks with his itemization,
it looks like he's going mid.
It looks like he's still going to go there, and you want your players on heroes they're comfortable with, and that makes your draft come around and the strategy go the way that you like it to. But I'm a bit worried for VP with this mid lane. I think it's definitely one to watch in this game.
It's also one of these things too. Is like, can VP be flexible? You're going up against Optic, you know you're going to have something a little bit more haywire thrown at you. And Virtus Pro, they've got a very good track record against Optic. But I love the way Fox, they bring it up. It's like, well, that's great. That was DPC. And Virtus Pro were just destroying in the DPC. But how many times have we seen a CIS team come to the TI main stage and they look good coming in and then they start falling apart? It's gotten better over the last year, but Virtus Pro, they have to dodge the bullet. It's nothing but elimination games today.
Yeah. And it's still, I think we should remember that Optic played VP when they were at their best. And it's not just about them doing well in the DPC. It's, you look at the potential these players have and what you know they can do. The panel talked about it. VP haven't been in their best shape here. So this might be Optic's best chance all season to grab this win, and what a timing that would be.
Optic will claim 3 of the bounty runes. Pasha couldn't find his way up. PPD was holding the Dire side. And he's coming up to grab the wave or to say hi. Pasha's nearby, and as always, you expect the TP support to arrive. PPD, you've already got the Fortune 10 flying out towards him, so be rooted up for a little bit, but begins his own TP back behind the tower, just being more of a nuisance than anything else.
Yep, trying to get that little extra bit of harassment in against the Enchantress. The best way to beat this hero in lane is just to play super aggressive against it level 1. This is when Enchantress is very weak. Obviously has the heal to sustain with, but with that increased mana cost, if you can force that heal 2 times, you will see Pasha be...
Rotation. That's why, like, you were tossing up, like, do you throw Enchantress in the mid lane to go up against the Huskar? You could even move the Gyro and the Io to go into the mid lane too, but they don't want to do it. PPD once again getting up in the face of Pasha and Solo. Will back off to the tree line. And No One's down to 1 Shed Tango. That's all he's got available at the moment. Just tries to keep CNC down. While Zion 33. Other thing to keep your eyes on is going to be the side lane stacks. Nightmare being switched off. Pasha needs some time to run away. Searing arrows. And then again, the Nightmare attacked a little too early. Solo's very low on life. The low on life is still alive. They'll have to use the heal once again, but that's the last Nature's Attendance.
Solo has a clarity. He could use that on Pasha, but it's very difficult for Pasha to maintain that clarity while getting CS, so more than likely will not be able to do it. A lot of the times we would see Enchantress start with a mango for this reason.
Going to go in for the stomp. 33. He's got the Death Pulse available. Roger's going to cop a lot of damage and then tether himself down to Ramses. Good positioning from him. Roger. She goes down to 24 HP. Zai wants to keep the chase going. But Roger will get through the salve. It still only brings him up to 3/4.
Zai now in trouble.
Yep, he's still got Spirit available, puts it down, looking for the stomp. Roger as well as Ramses split up, but the tether does not shatter.
Had enough on the stick to get the mana for his stomp, so will be able to stay alive, but he expended pretty much all of his regen at this point on that Ilra Titan. And this is how we see Io and Gyro often win their lane. It's just by sustaining, pressuring, and then in the end the enemy has to buy more regen than you, so you win. But Necrophos is one of the better heroes at dealing with this consistent harassment. As long as it's not bursts, 33 will be able to largely out-heal this damage by just getting CS. And he's doing fine for himself so far.
CCNC is just having the time of his life. He doesn't even feels like he needs regeneration, inner vitality. He's got enough buffs up recently that he feels good to stand his ground. A 1-2-1 build for CCNC.
Yeah, no one is not having fun.
No. But at least he's finding CS. It's 8-3 against 19-8. Okay, I take it back. I take it back.
Yeah, so this, the thing that's a bit surprising about this for me is that this is I think Optic is one of the teams in this tournament that like their last pick Huskar the absolute most. CCNC loves this hero. They've picked it multiple times. They've even picked it in games where it wasn't like particularly good and they did lose as a result. But this looks like a great Huskar game, and VP, I think they just forgot about it.
Yep.
If they were anticipating a Huskar and were okay with this, that surprises me, because they've always put so much emphasis on the laning stage. Oh, no one. He took 8 Burning Spears.
That's going to tick so hard.
Dying,
it's only 2 points of Dragon Blood with the Tango. He'll be low enough to push him out of the lane. Ramses. The stomp comes in, does not connect, however, so they're able to back out. Roger as well as Ramses Tangos. And they need this pretty quickly.
I'm starting to wonder if... So the thing I was talking about maybe lane swapping DK and Ench, I was thinking, okay, well, Dragon Knight's matchup bottom might not be the greatest either against Bane Clinks. It feels like he would have done better than what he did in mid. You can sustain okay-ish against Clinks. Bane is strong, but you will get at least some farm, and then the downside obviously being that you get a later level 6. Even though no one is struggling, he's still at least level 4.5 compared to the Enchantress in their offlane who's 3.5. So that's a bit of a silver lining, but CCNC is almost level 6, and at that point, no one, I think he can just die from full health almost by getting jumped.
Got to look for these 5-minute bounty runes. Top lane, VP should be having them under control. PPD wants to try and battle against the Enchantress. Solo's already moving up, but PPD will reach it first, so Denial is the only other choice they have, or killing PPD. He's in deep, no TP scroll available, and this may be our first blood. In fact, it will be. Pasha drops the nuke. It's costly.
Well played, everybody.
Yeah, everyone's a great Dota player. It's almost like his TI. Zai wrapping around the back on the top lane, begins his stomp, is only faking it out, however, as Ramses wants to try and push everything back. The stomp is coming in. Aracopter just so good, but 33 Death Pulse coming off cooldown right now. It'll fly forward. They stick charge up once more, so Ramses with the tether, they should be okay.
They got a shrine. Oh, no one is jungling level 4 Dragon Knight. This hurts to watch. That is... Oh, it's like everything this guy is so good at, he doesn't even get to do in this game. His lane mechanics in mid, he can't showcase it in this matchup. It feels like an Optic with a huge advantage from that mid lane. 38-28 against 14-3. And 4 of those are neutrals, by the way, I think, from no one. Yep. He does not have a game right now at all.
This is when the other lanes will have to step up for Virtus.pro. Pasha's trying to do it on the bottom lane, beating into PyCap. PPD can only just watch him. Now they turn on the strafe. Okay, they can do more than watch. That's a level 2 brain sap.
He might die here.
Well, the Flyer's coming out. Fortune's End locks him in position. Pasha should have the damage. Extra TP support's coming in. PPD3 will die in the meantime. That's what happens when you take your support away from the lane.
Yep.
And Solo just walks it off.
His Elder Titan rotation. I'm not even sure if he saved PyCat. PyCat might have been fine regardless with the Nightmare out from PPD. And like you said, they pay the price. VP trying to play aggressive in that bottom lane at the very least. So there's somewhere that...
Saying hi to Zai. But 33 underneath the tower. Flat cannon damage is pretty good for...
Well, they forced 2 TPs, both CCNC as well as PPD TPing top, PPD canceling his, and CCNC running back to mid. So that was very uneventful. from Optic.
Oh, and you see no one. I have time. I have time to
Like,
farm in the mid
yay!
lane. There's creeps underneath my tower. I feel safe here.
Is he getting both? He got 2 CS in lane.
Yeah. If he can get the catapult, jump in, going in deep. That's why the Dragon Tail stun came out from no one. CCNC wants to go in deep, but no TP support arriving from Virtus Pro. All he can do is with the Breathe Fire, try and reduce this damage of CCNC. Courier's even delivering in deep. That's a very, very tanky Huskar. Double braces and burn. Oh, no one. You just can't. You can't get a break.
That was so close to living, but needed a little more health. Like 15 there would have maybe done the trick.
Roger coming in with a spear is actually forcing the Ghost Shroud, allowing Roger to do more damage. The homing missile chasing up to 33. He'll do a quick dead pulse, give him enough life, and maybe with a Rocket Barrage. How much will be tanked by 33? All of it. Ramses even looks for an extra one. No flat cannon available. He's got another Rocket Barrage, so going after Zai under the tier 1 tower. The Io and Gyrocopter has been the plague of this tournament, but it's fantastic for Virtus Pro early on.
It's so important that this lane is working out for them. Imagine this game if it wasn't. I think Ramses and Roger both know how much weight they have to carry in this game. No one has probably, I mean, first of all, they probably know this lane matchup in mid very well, and they've probably communicated, okay, this is how we have to play this game to... They basically have to put no one on their backs for a while. Maybe he can recover. Dragon Knight is not the worst hero to play from behind, but it's not great either. At least he got level 6, so maybe we could be seeing a mid-rotation with the relocate come out from VP to try and grab this mid tower. Io and Gyro both level 6, minute 9, so very good timings for them.
The CCNC, he doesn't want to wait for this. Goes up to the high ground, knows he can just push out the DK, so Dragon Tail, Dragon Form. Support's coming in, and the relocate, exactly as you called, Cinder, and the damage! Huskar! CCNC is gone!
He didn't even have armlet.
No, he didn't. Didn't need it. Not required. Now up towards the top. The stop is there. They get the double stun out. No way for Roger to escape with the Reaper's Scythe. Ramses is in real trouble. Running away. One more punch will do it. One punch man Zai. Help is coming in from no one. Dragon Tail stun creates the space with the homing missile. Zai should die. No one gets something. Actually, Ramses and no one share it. 33 will continue his run away. But remember, 10 minutes, bounty runes. VP already have 3 of them, and looks like they're going to get all 4.
Oh, that is huge for them. This is reminding me of which game was that? It was VG versus Secret yesterday.
Yeah.
Where VG had this perfect Huskar lane, perfect Huskar game in general. Well, not perfect, but really good at least. But still, Secret managed to grab all those bounty runes. And this time around, it feels like the same story. VP just getting the better out of these runes and the map in general.
Pops the sprites, he knows they can't punch him, but no one knows he can be punched. Instantly TPs back to base.
Yep.
No way he takes that fight.
Absolutely not. It's funny when you compare the gold and XP graphs. This is, I would say, a relative rarity nowadays. Most of the time, the team that's ahead on gold is also ahead of an XP. Oh,
damage from Pasha on bottom lane so high. The ET splitter, they're trying to actually snap back Pasha. He's got no sprites available, has to trigger the 1 charges. Sprites are up in 1 second time. Meanwhile, up on top, Roger does go down. Pycat doing the work as the Clinks.
Great hero at killing the IO, as the panel talked about. It's one of the harder matchups.
Relocate is up, but they're going to do it the old-fashioned way. TP the tier 2, and then smoke up and wrap around. CCNC is the man. They'll probably see the armlet on right now. Ramses, the smoke's going to break. Cooldown's coming off cooldown at the moment. CCNC, life breaks its way forward. Roger, it's a lot of damage on him. The cooldown's still going to hit nicely, but they need more support. They need to back up with the Reaper's Scythe. The Ramses cannot be protected. No one can get a 4-man breathe fire, so the damage output from Optic is very, very low. But everyone from Optic, bar PPD, came over. That allowed Pasha to take the tier 1 tower on bottom. And Optic instantly looking for the rebuttal.
Optic was so ready for that play. You saw Pycat positioning himself to break that exact smoke from top. It was pretty telling that VP had no hero in that top lane for like 20 seconds. And they get the time to set up. Zai in the perfect position with ET as well. And they get the gyro kill. Solo was able to save the IO, so it's not the end of the world. And like you said, they got a tower. But they really want to kill this Huskar. This is the centerpiece of Optic's draft that you want to try to slow down if you can. That's what we saw yesterday, once again, from Secret against Vici Gaming, was that Ori was having a really, really good lane on Huskar, was very farmed, but they killed him a couple of times, and he just ran out of steam a lot earlier than he would have expected in that game. This time around, though, CCNC is having a great time. We'll be getting the tower here, most likely. If no one denies this with an illusion rune, that will be incredible.
Not going to happen. Maybe with, actually, maybe it does. The Dragon's attacking in. Oh, one more attack would have done it, but it went into melee form.
I was actually... I think if he got the hit up.
Solo underneath the observer ward up on top. 33-40 was good. Here comes the relocate once again. Virtus Pro. They find a core. They don't want it to be Huskar. Keeping these heroes down. I want to beg the question, like, can Virtus Pro keep this pressure up, and does this stop Optic from just taking Roshan? You talk about CCNC being able to just be aggressive and find kills.
I think they're going to struggle fighting for the first Rosh, but I feel like they will try, and in a way they have to. Just their lineup is not good at killing Huskar in the mid game once he gets something like a Halberd. You look at the heroes that they have, they don't have really heavy single target damage except the Enchantress. Gyro is a split damage carry. Dragon Knight is not the highest single target damage output carry either until very late in the game. So yeah, I think that will definitely be a big point of contention here that is a serious problem for Virtus Pro to deal with.
The observer ward saw the courier coming towards the top lane. They keep it in the trees and away from Pycat, but Pasha and Solo, they're beset on all sides, 4 heroes surrounding them. Necro is the only one who's down on bottom, and CCNC doesn't care. He just runs, and he's got a haste room. Pasha begins his TP, and there is no stuns available. And Solo, does he actually get out as well? They're in the corner, and they check it last. So the tier 1 tower will fall on top. Meanwhile, Ramses and Roger have been farming up the Radiant jungle. 33 has had to defend the bottom, and no one's had, okay, a little bit of space. It's still a better trade for Optic by far.
For sure. They didn't lose anything, really. They get this tower. Pycat's probably going to inhabit this top area now, and Huskar can kind of go wherever he wants, really. There's not that much to do about it. For now.
Yeah.
Bounty runes looks like to be this one will be a 2-for-2 split, so this time around Optic not losing that control.
Yeah, Roger's actually holding on the charges until he has Ramses with him. Get the mana back up again, try and get this gyrocopter as efficiently farming as possible, and they're getting towards the BKB for Ramses.
Dire are scanning.
He knows he'll need that if he's going to have any chance of standing in the fight, because Dragon Knight is not his front liner. It cannot be the front liner. And Enchantress's damage is getting a little bit better. Pasha working towards the Hurricane Pike.
That is their Huskar killer. That's the timing that they will be looking for. Obviously, if he has a Halberd, he can either, if he's really clutch, he can maybe Halberd Pasha before he gets the Pike off, and then the attacks don't go out, or at least he has the evasion to work with.
Optic coming for the kill. These items are not up yet, so Optic still feel confident to engage. And Huskar's going to find his target, and surprise, surprise, who is it be? Hello, Mr. Dragon Knight, and goodbye, Mr. Dragon Knight. ET Splitter being committed, just in case anyone wants to TP in towards this fight too. Partial will arrive, Splitter's already come out. Nature's Attendance is there. DK taking through a lot of this, but the Fiend's Grip from PPD, they're able to go from one target to the next. And Pasha, he has no way to escape from this. Relocate is on the way, and well, Ramses and Roger, now if you really wanted to be part of that, there was the kill all the way down on bottom lane. It was Ramses killing off 33 while that engagement was going on around the Dire Shrine. But yeah, they come in late and they relocate out.
Yep. Didn't seem like they... I think if they instantly relocate on that, perhaps this fight can work out for VP, but even in their own shrine, they still... I bet they feel like they have to avoid the Huskar. It seems like that's just the play call here. Okay, wherever Huskar goes, we don't go. Maybe Pasha missed the memo a little bit, TPing in there. It's a very difficult play.
Roshan's being killed off. There's no relocate, there's no reposition. They are copping a lot of damage. Zai's getting punched up, and only barely do they claim it.
That was indeed Roshan.
Yeah,
obviously timing it.
Yeah, it was perfect. As long as Zai didn't get bashed a second time, that would have been then, oh, Zai dies to Roshan. And then he'll have more kills than no one.
Oh, Solo.
Perfect catch out. Cannot save himself in time. Cast every single ability he possibly can to save himself from Pycat.
Yeah, I think he could have stayed alive there, actually. He cast the disarm on the Clinks and TP'd out. Oh, he didn't have a TP. Okay, no. I think that's a relatively hopeless situation then. It is your, a lot of the time with Oracle, your instinct is, okay, I'm getting attacked, I will Fate's Edict and start healing myself. But against Clinks, obviously you want to try to get that disarm out or the purge out on the Clinks. Both spells cast aggressively on the Clinks can help you a lot.
Do you like the Diffuser blade? I know Black was talking about getting a Desolator to find a quick kill, but he actually went Diffusal first item for Clinks.
It's an interesting choice when you're playing against the IO, just because you can Diffusal the target that's tethered, and then you slow them both up a lot. But both items are good in their own way. I think there's a bit of player preference going into this as well. The mana burn against a hero like Dragon Knight is really useful, though. So, could make a difference.
Bottom lane, 33. Oh, they're going to find a different target. It's going to be Zai. He'll go in for his stomp, but Pasha loves this. He'll just keep his distance. Throwing out the impetus, he can find the kill pretty quickly. There's no instant movement forward because PPD has arrived. Dragon Knight is still on his way, so he's not ready to fight in this one just yet. They trigger the drum charge and the call down. It looks like Ramsey wants to be part of this fight, chasing PPD into the tree line. CC&C, Parcher's got the spaces to beat into him, and Solo has to save himself from Pycat. Support is still coming in. CC&C, he's already found the kill. The relocate out does not come in time. So Solo and Ramses both go down. And that's a weird kind of fight. And you know it's not over yet. 1 second and IO's coming back all the way down to bottom. And goodbye, Roger.
PPD played the tree line really nicely there. Just biding his time, waiting for the fortunes, or sorry, for the false promise to come out. And immediately after that, he gets the grip off on the BKB gyro. And VP, they looked like they thought they could fight that. They didn't have their Dragon Knight as part of the fight, and they kind of... I felt like they forced this a little bit, perhaps, when...
It was just a little bit too early. Like, he got the Blink Dagger, but it took him too long to get down because his TPU, I believe, was on cooldown at the time. So couldn't even reach
but the thing that happens in this fight is actually a really key part of how Optic should try to take their team fights. If they can force the Oracle to self-ulti, it opens up for a very easy fight for Gyrocopter. There aren't, or sorry, for the Bane. There aren't that many solutions to Bane's Fiend Script this game. There's only really Homing Missile, which takes time to reach, or the Dragon Knight stun. And Dragon Knight wasn't even there, so easy grip for PPD. I would say this is one of the downsides when you play these double save supports, is if the enemy has heroes that are really good at forcing out the saves on the supports themselves straight away. It's difficult for them to just enable their cores in the way that they want to. Optics surely in this game have great solutions with both the Elder Titan for the Spirit to force the IO away. They have the Clinks with the backline, and even the Huskar who is just jumping in and hitting whoever he wants.
Clinks is going to find another kill, and that's going to be Pasha. That's
Solo.
It looks like double damage. Solo caught out by CC&C, and now Pycat can cash out Pasha. I don't think he believes he can take this kill by himself, so he's waiting for Zai to rotate over.
Yeah, he can't if Enchant is ready. If Enchant is on cooldown, I think he actually kills him with that Diffusal.
Well, no Enchant used yet by Pasha. Here comes Pycat underneath the tower. Pasha into the sprites. Hasn't used his Enchant just yet. The Stomp is out, and Pycat finishes the job.
Nicely done. Optic are controlling the map very well now. The early game probably didn't go as well as they would have hoped, bounty rune-wise, but now that Huskar is fully online and Blinks has hit this timing too, they're spreading VP pretty thin here.
Yeah.
It's difficult for VP to play the lanes when there's these many kill threats that they don't really have a very good solution to themselves.
Well, the only thing they can do is just wait for all their outer towns to go down and fight from a position of high ground, which would be inside their base.
Doesn't feel like the type of lineup from VP though that wants to play like that. You have Dragon Knight and you're going to just play defensively and hold your base.
VP missiles going towards PPD. It's going to be underneath the shrine. CC&C is already here to fight. And you see, just like even under your own shrine, Virtus Pro do not want to take this fight. And they realize they're being watched.
Yep.
Get rid of the Observer Ward in the lane.
Solo did ping out this Observer earlier that the Radiant had with the way Huskar ran up and killed him, so they did know that there was some vision here for Optic. They obviously don't know now that it has expired. Bottom lane, there's a call down there, just clearing out the waves.
They're getting the hell out of there. Yeah. Like, this is not where they want to be.
When's the last time you've seen VP playing this defensively?
A very, 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 very long time ago.
I'm not saying it's the wrong play, it's just...
Oh,
it's an issue from their draft and the way this game is going in general, so they're doing a good thing. They're just not playing to their strengths.
They needed to wait for their items, like that's it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm wondering just how hard Optic actually need to push right now. You're walking towards an MKB, the Hurricane Pike is completed on Pasha, and well, there's a 9% probability, but if Pasha becomes that Huskar killer, then Ramses can take care of the team fight. He's finished up the BKB, you're still running an IO and Gyrocopter, so your global positioning can always be good. The only non-factor is kind of no one. He's got a Blink Dagger for a stun, and that's all he's going to really offer to the fight. But VP understand this. They understand they're weak, and they're just trying to play away from Optic and make the trade-offs as good as they can possibly get it.
Optic look like they want to try to defend every tower. I really like this mentality. I think when you're stronger than the enemy like this, you don't give anything up for free.
VP need to leave right now. 33 is already there. You've got the BKB Clanks ready to jump into the fight, and the stomp, it won't be able to connect. Homing missile will chase down 33. Oh, Pycat's found a target over on the right. It's going to be Pasha. He'll sprite up and push up the hillside. A missed chance will not be there. Can they get close enough? No, Roger tethers forward. They want to keep the run. Call down from Ramsey. Turns on the BKB and the flat cannon. PPD can't maintain that life. Pycat runs away. Here comes the ET splitter. Will not connect on anybody. And Solo has to actually protect himself. There's a lot of life taken away from Optic, but remember, they can just stand their ground. Or can they? Huskar stunned up by the magic missile. The ET top doesn't do enough work. Ramsey's in close. And can they bring down the back underneath the tower? 33 into Ghost Shroud. Wants to dive in deeper. The stomps again, whiffing on the skies as Huskar under the tier 2 tower. Zai doesn't want to stick around much longer, but Pycat does into the back lines. He'll find Ramses, diffuses him up. Ramses cannot fight that power. CC and CM Pycat, both wicked sick, both living under the tier 2 tower and forcing the issue against Virtus Pro.
And you see in this team fight, that was an amazing call down and flat cannon, but look who does the most damage on VP's side. It's the Enchantress. She actually did more damage than Gyrocopter in that fight, and that's because she's the one hero that can confidently try to lay into this Necrophos as well as the Huskar in the front lines, but it's just not enough. CCNC, it looked like maybe he would die at one point, but Pasha was running out of mana, and there's nobody helping him with that kill, because nobody really can do it. We're going to see the fight again right here.
Yeah. So finds him in the corner. Solo already had to use the save, but that wasn't enough to even save him.
Key force staff play there.
And then back under the tower. But you see how low they are, like 3 players who are like 20% and under. And Optic still don't care. They understand they are the Immortals.
But all of them surviving. And VP look a little bit flustered. That was a very big moment for Optic. They gained such a big advantage out of this fight. Now 10k up on the gold. Roshan will be spawning relatively soon as well, and feels like it will be same story all over again. Can VP even contest it? And if they can't, you have the CCNC Huskar with an Aegis and a BKB. It is not going to get easier.
Optic are keeping the tempo up. They smoke up as 5, or actually as 4. 33 is once again the man who is not there, and Solo once again may be the man who gets ganked up. Pycat, yep, he goes after Solo. Leaves no one alone. And everyone else, 4-star TP out. Pasha wants to escape. Anything they can do to not have a fight is what Virtus Pro need. But how good is their high ground defense? Like, you got your Breed Fire, you got your Flat Cannon, you got range damage. Is it enough to keep Optic out when Optic are already showing they don't really care about diving into tier 2s?
It's good against everyone else than Huskar, really, their high ground defense. The problem is the way this lineup sieges for Optic is that Huskar goes and hits the tower, and the team just protects him from the back. They have Defensive Nightmare, they have Stomp from the Titan, and VP will be forced to either do a smoke wraparound on them when they're pushing to try to hit the back lines, or they have to contest the Roche. I think going on a Huskar with Aegis in front is going to lose them the game.
Yeah, now they drop the sentry and they'll realize their smoke was right on top of it.
Tower is under attack.
I think they worked it out because they had their own observer wards inside the jungle, and Optic Gaming, they started moving back.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, they're already reacting to something we instantly just did.
Yep. So good read from VP at least, but it's a very minor gain considering they used a smoke for that.
Well, Huskar's coming up. They have the observer ward in place for Optic, watching the ancient area. This gives them so much vision security around Roshan that the confidence will go through the roof. Observer and Sentry does see Pycat wrapping around the back, so Virtus Pro are at least aware of Klinks. He's waiting for his death pack to come off cooldown. He's got a nice Centaur to take. He's even diffusal blading it so he doesn't run back up the hill too fast and into the waiting hands of VP.
Next level. Stomp mid. Thinking about it here. Yep, he'll go.
Fiend's Grip as well. Can no one actually save him? Blink Dagger was on cooldown. He blinked down into the tree line. So without Pasha, you know you're not going to get anything. They're not going to get it anyway. Optic, Aegis Immortal into the hands of the Huskar. Pycat will claim the cheese. And this may be enough to be the base breakers that Optic need to be.
This will be the hardest fight of the whole game for VP. Everything Optic wanted, they have. Oh, and even if he finds a kill here on the way in.
Yeah, he's chasing Ramses. Roger, he may have to need to start to relocate. There's a mech charge available, and you're seeing Roger decides to die, and Ramses just wants to TP out. He has no buyback available. He's still a little bit short, and they fortify, so he can't even creep skip. Completes the TP out. CCNC's already taken the first tower. On bottom lane, that's all the outer towns of Virtus.pro down. So Pasha is up, but there's no IO for that regeneration, for that mech. And they're split as well. CCNC's just pushing the bottom tower.
Just gonna wait for his next wave to come in. There it is. And in we go again. Or not. Or yes.
Paid for it.
Maybe.
Observers are down, so Virtus.pro can at least see a little bit further out their base. Pasha knows that his pure damage is the only real answer they have.
And you see what he's
CCNC.
He's working on that MKB.
Ramses, he's in trouble. Has to PKB. The diffusal blade of Pycat kept him low, but at the same time, Pycat, he's got no mana to work with. He's got cheese available. There's another stomp. Will miss his target. CCNC stunned up. And Ramses, he goes in deep. The Reaper side won't find the kill. The false promise was there to protect him. The call down making it difficult for Optic to get to the front lines, but not for CCNC. Just live breaks forward, looking to break the back of Virtus.pro. And they're in a pretty damn good position to do it. Back to objective-based gaming. Tier 3 tower and Rax needs to fall. And Virtus.pro need to heal. They'll smoke up, but I don't know what your initiation is. Gyro is no BKB, no cooldown, not even flat cannon for 10 seconds.
Huskar is invincible until Enchantress is back. There is zero chance they can kill this guy twice. And he knows it, so they get the full lane of Rax.
And Optic will retreat. Homing missiles coming out, but they're not going to chase this. In fact, right now you see Roger using Relocate to grab the runes. Kept the bounty runes at 30 minutes. Get something on this map. If you can actually reach the other one, yeah, he's got enough time to get there.
Yep. Stem the bleeding a little bit.
CCNC, an absolute beast in this push.
Dire's bottom shrine has fallen.
They're targeting perfectly as well, Pasha, so he is a non-factor.
Yeah, he needs to get this MKB. So they need this MKB and they need the Aegis to expire.
The Dragon Tail stump, they're going to find 33. He's died more times than anyone else on Optic Gaming, but with Huskar jumping forward, the stomp's out, and Gyrocopter, PPD's on solo life. The balls from Io will kill him off, freeing Ramses from the bind, and finally they break the Aegis to the Immortal. Call down from Ramses, he gets something in return, but they're so far behind. Optic can just walk through it, and GG. The call comes out. Virtus.pro knew that was the last roll of the dice. Optic Gaming take game 1 against a team they have struggled to defeat all season. And now VP are 1 loss away from being eliminated from TIA.
That was a trump pick Huskar. Classic Huskar game. Gets picked in a game where he has all these good lane matchups, and I'm very curious to hear in a moment what the panel thinks, because I feel very strongly that they had to put the Enchantress mid in this game. I think Dragon Knight, you can't, even if you want to get that level 6 faster than in a side lane, you just can't get this crushed in the laning stage by the Huskar. Enchantress is relatively competitive in that lane, can actually win the lane, whereas for Dragon Knights, absolutely hopeless.
It was a total crush in the lanes. Virtus.pro on the brink of elimination. Optic Gaming, can they advance?
One of the many questions the panel will no doubt tackle as we head towards game number 2. But first, of course, back at the panel right now with Fogged Black and Gods. Gents, we